Hello, everybody, and welcome to the entertainment headquarters, and welcome to another Television Chronicles. And joining me today is my co-host on this special, and it is Mr. Tony the Dead. Welcome, my friend.
Hello. Thanks. It's great to be back.
Yes, well, you're always welcome. Like I say, this is going to be our show going forward, where similar to what we do with the Retro Classic Movie Show, where me and Anubis, who's my co-host on that particular show, he picks a movie, then the following month I pick a movie, and we'll go from there. So, of course, with you being my co-host on Television Chronicles, this was your pick. And so let's have a look what my good friend Mr. Tony the Dead picked. It is Apple Plus Murderbot. So I had heard this, and very much like yourself, I had seen the trailer for it, and like you said off camera, it looked good via uh, the initial trailer.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Tony the Dead, what made you pick this?
Literally, the trailer just looked interesting. It had some comedy to it. It was. It seemed very violent. Bill, not Bill Skarsgård. What's his name? Alexander Skarsgård. I like
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
So I thought, why not give it a try?
yeah. Believe it or not, the only thing outside of this I have seen Alexander Skarsgård in is he was in Godzilla vs. Kong,
Mhm.
and he was also in Tarzan.
Oh, well, I
So,
watched the entire series of True Blood with him in it, so that was my first introduction to him. And then I
yeah,
also seen Infinity Pool, and he was great in that. So
yeah. I did know he was in. Was it? Did you see True Blood? Or was it
yeah,
Vampire Diaries? Was it? I've never watched that show, but I heard good things about it.
you never saw True Blood, the vampire guy.
Nope.
Wow, it's a good show, and I think they're bringing it back too.
Yeah,
Supposedly, I don't
I
know.
think I think what put us off watching stuff like that is because I like proper horror vampire movies. And growing up, I seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But then, like, when Twilight come out and then they started doing Vampire Diaries and all, it just put us off. I thought, I don't really want to watch a show that's like about romance and vampire. I want
Oh,
to see. But
it's
I've
nothing
heard,
like Twilight, man. It's nothing. It's a lot of sex and violence, and the only difference is people know about vampires in the show, and it's like a lot of them want. Or there's groups against them, and then there's like groups that are worshiping the sun because of vampires and stuff like that. So it's
hmm,
pretty cool. It's not bad. It gets a little ridiculous, of course, toward the end, but it's a good
yeah,
show. I
yeah.
think you
Well,
should watch.
more shows do kind of get ridiculous by the end.
Yeah.
But we're here to talk about Murderbot.
Yes.
So, Murderbot is an American science fiction action comedy television series created by Paul Weitz and Chris Weitz for Apple TV Plus. It is based on All Systems Red, the first book of the series, The Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells, who serves as a consulting producer. The series stars Alexander Skarsgård as a titular character. The first season premiered on May the 16th, 2025. In July 2025, the series was renewed for a second season.
Hmm.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So the premise of the show, a media obsessed, sorry, I'll get me fucking teeth back in. A media obsessed private security construct manufactured from cloned human tissue and mechanical parts calls itself Murderbot must hide its newly acquired autonomy while completing dangerous assignments and being simultaneously drawn to humans and applied at their weakness. No, appalled at their weakness. Can't even read. So
Either way could have worked, I think, in a
yeah.
way.
Yeah, so the film starts off. It's not film, sorry. The series basically starts off where you've got like this company that manufactures these, like these security systems, which are the cyborgs, and you've got like this different unique expedition that goes on, and they basically decide that they want to hire or hire a security robot while they go on this like mission to this planet and scout fossils and minerals and all of that stuff. But unknown to them, the robot, basically the cyborg, he's got autonomy. He's got like his own personality that he's now disguising, that he's actually free from the program that's meant to be controlling him.
Right.
And the one thing that I did really like about this, and I found was really funny, is basically how he kind of interacts with the different characters throughout the show. Is he's obsessed with this kind of sci-fi soap opera, which he's downloaded all of the episodes into his like system, into his memory, and it's called The Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon. And I thought those elements were great when you had some really good actors in the roles as the characters on the soap opera.
Yeah.
And they're like really hamming it up with the comedy and the overacting. And I thought them bits were probably some of the most funny bits in throughout the show.
Yeah. I agree. The show started off funny too, with him like saying, like, because you hear him talking like in his head about everything too. Mm-hmm. And like humans, they're assholes. That gun, he's an asshole. That one, an asshole. It's like him, well, he's okay. It's pretty funny. I was like, okay, this had me laughing already. That's pretty good. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know it was like, I knew it was violent and stuff, but I didn't know it was like going to be rated R. I honestly didn't even know it was on Apple. When I watched the trailer, it was a while ago, so like I don't remember. But yeah, it was funny at first, and what was it called? The Saturn.
What the soap opera show that he downloads? It's called The Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon.
Sanctuary Moon. Okay. I keep thinking Saturn Moon.
Sanctuary Moon, yeah. And obviously he gets built, manufactured, and then there's something happens and suddenly his program suddenly becomes inept or gets altered. And this research company, they're like researchers, and they want to go to this distant planet or moon to like get minerals and source like stuff. But for them to be able to go to the moon, they have to have insurance. Mm-hmm. And to fulfill the insurance, they decide, even though they don't want to, they decide to hire the security droid, because it's the only way for pass the insurance for them to be able to go to the planet.
Right.
And you can tell they're all skeptical, they're dead nervous, because they just think these cyborg robots basically are just killing machines with no emotions, no personalities. And throughout the course of the first episode, we're introduced to a number of the characters and the crew, which the leader of the crew, which is this lady here, I actually generally liked her.
Yeah.
I thought she was a great cast choice. I'm trying to find her name. Her name was Norma Durangi. is Ida Mensa,
Mm-hmm.
a terraforming specialist, the president of Preservation Alliance, and the leader of the science team protected by Murderbot.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, that's another thing that makes you laugh, because obviously he's just classed as like the Unidroid or something, but then in his head he gives himself his own name, Murderbot.
Yeah, Murderbot.
Because all he thinks about is killing humans.
Yeah, that's like that's what he kind of wants to do. Like he wants to. I could just go off and kill all these humans right now and blah blah, and then it's like, but then they'd melt me down eventually and blah blah.
Yeah.
And if they know that he hacked his government thing, he'll be melted down too. So even though he's with this new group, he's not bound by any laws, but he's still nervous to get melted down. So he's like plays like that he's still part of the program.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. Cool. So that's what the great concept of this show is. So he breaks free of his protocols and his commands, like protocols, and he's no longer abided by the laws and the rules of, of what he's manufactured to do.
Yeah.
But then at the same time of him just going batshit crazy and doing what he wanted to do, he's quite smart, because he then decides, right, I've got to play dumb and pretend that I'm still under these protocols. And then you're seeing it from his perspective, where he's talking to himself in his head. And you're like, that's the great elements of the show, is that you see it from the crew's perspective, where he's acting like he's the security droid, and he's like answering their questions and he's listening to them. But then you see it from, suddenly you can hear his thoughts, and he says, oh, this guy's a dickhead or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, like, I especially like the scenes where he was getting interrogated.
Yeah.
And he's like, look me in the eyes. And even though he's like a robot, he's like acting what a human would do. If you feel uncomfortable in certain situations, you don't look at a person in the eyes. You kind of sit there, like, not with your head down, but you'll see a look at the wall, a look out the window. You'll be
like this, yeah. Yeah, because he says, like, I hate eye contact. That's another thing too. The humans didn't know there was like a face underneath, because like the mask is up and everything. Everybody just thinks and he kind of sounds robotic, but then when he takes when the mask comes off and you see that it's him, they're like, oh, I didn't know there was a face under there. It's not that bad to look at either.
Yeah. So this is one of the other guys, and I love this actor, David Dalmatian. He plays Garathan, and he's the tech expert and augmented human. So there's something weird about him. And this is the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
So you've got Sabrina Wu as Pin Lee, a science and legal counsel to the team. Asha Khanna as Ratty, a wormhole expert. Tamara Parmeski as, I can't even say her name, she's the geochemist. That is this particular lady.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, but I felt as if she was going to turn out to be a villain.
Yeah. Or she was going to freak out and kill everybody. Like, oh, I can't open the door. One of those, like, open the door. I can't open the door kind of situations. But no.
Yeah, but because obviously, as you know, they're there. They're like you say, they're part of this alliance, this terraforming peace alliance. And they basically go to this planet to see if it's available for terraforming.
Yeah.
And when they get to the planet, they discover that they're not alone. There's like these horrendous alien worm things that live under the ground.
Yeah.
Which I thought these scenes are brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like giant centipede kind of things, but they have a head on each end. Pretty scary too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
they're creepy enough when
Yeah,
they're small,
really
but imagine
scary.
that big.
Yeah, scary as hell. But I would say as well, as the plot progresses, like they then discover that there was another team on the planet, and they then go to check out this other team after like their ship's kind of damaged and like being on the planet. And when they get to this other base, they discover basically everyone's been assassinated.
Yeah.
And they've all been assassinated by, guess what, a security droid. Which then Murderbot has to then try and defeat. And it's throughout the course of this plot where he's slowly starting to let his guard down, because the more episodes he basically watching of this soap opera, he's now discovering the human personalities. He's then discovering like him, because right at the beginning he's downloaded this show and he's like become a big fan of it, but he doesn't like humans. But as he's interacting with the different humans, he's also watching this show, and it's getting him to learn about humanity and personalities, and he's getting to know them as individuals. And there's actually also what he also does. He like, not only is he pretending to be like this robot under this protocol, he's also like he's also breaking into the security cameras of all on the ship, and he's basically watching them in the bedrooms, he's watching them interact, and he's basically, as he's seeing them in their privacy, he's actually getting to know about them even more. And I think it generally, he starts to let his guard down and build like a relationship and friendships with them.
Yeah. And he's only known one type of human, and it was all those work. They like just treat him like crap because it's like, oh, it's a robot. Who cares? You know how a lot of times in movies and TV shows, that's how human. They're like, it's just a robot and that. And so that's all he knew, and that's why he's like, I hate humans. But then he sees these humans, and they're like, oh, they're so stupid, and they keep wanting to like help each other out, or like we can't leave them behind, or even him. Like he's like, dude, if you don't hear from me in so long, then head back to the ship. And then like, of course they don't. And he's like, you're supposed to head back to the ship. And then it's like, well, wait, why are they trying to save me? And then he finally, it starts to like, he still talks about that, which is funny. Cause again, like you said, they don't know he can hear everything. And they're whispering about him like, oh, like they're 10 feet away. And I think we should do this. And he's like, I can hear them, of course, but you know, it's like no matter what, it's funny when they find out that he can hear everything too. There's a lot of good comedy to it, and I do like this how he tries to sort out the situations with part of a show, because it's like Star Trek meets Galaxy Quest.
Yes,
in a way.
And but then they try to add a little bit of action in there and a little bit of like where they can, a bit of gore. And like you see, as the plot progresses, it turns out like there's like the security company that sent them the bot.
Yeah.
It turns out like the planet that they went to maybe look at a terraform, and there's like rival organizations trying to like get the minerals off the planet. And so that base they went to was hit by one of these rival corporations who had wiped out all of the people inside the base. And then obviously these are them here who like, and they've got their own security bots. But then because he's now suddenly bonded with all of the members of the crew, he basically then cares for them enough. He does everything he can to try and save them.
Yeah. Basically.
But, and then you get to know the different relationships, apart from his story being like generally learning, growing his own personality, growing to trust humans, and growing to like become an individual in his own right. He's now learning to trust people. Like you say, I think the character of Menza, that lady, she basically becomes like a mother or a mentor to him. And that scene where the basically, he basically throws her off the end of a cliff. And that was episode 9, and he basically throws off the cliff, but then he holds on to her, and then he basically cuddles her, and then turns around and takes the impact of the ground and saves her life. And I actually thought I didn't realise that was episode 9, because at the end, obviously, his body's just completely bashed up and mangled.
Oh, yeah.
And all that, like, the synthetic fluid that's in his body is leaking out of his side, and you just assumed he's going to die. And I thought, well, if this was a mini series and a one and done, that would have been a perfect way to end this, him sacrificing his life to save, after finally trusting humans, he saves the ones he cares about.
Right, yeah.
But unknown to us, it wasn't the end.
Yeah.
Because the next episode, basically, which is the last one, it's where this, Preservation Alliance, basically, they go to sue the company for Murderbot because they want him back.
Yeah. Yeah, they want him back, and they're like, that's not your property, he's ours. Because they look at him as one of the crew, and here, when they're talking to him, they don't realize that they already wiped his memory and everything, and installed a new government, whatever that is, like that he can't, like, now he has to obey.
Yeah.
And when they run into him again, and he's like, he didn't recognize him, and then I feel like that part was a little rushed. It's like, oh, he doesn't recognize him anymore, and then like he comes to and all this stuff, and then he starts remembering things. And it's like, I feel like they could have, like, if they were going to have they're going to have a second season, they could have left it on a cliffhanger, like, oh man, he lost his memory, now what?
I quite like how they ended the second season, because obviously this guy here, who he did not like Murderbot, didn't like him, thought he was a threat, and I think he was jealous because he knew that Menza really cared for the Murderbot, because even though she knew he was like this robot who was meant to have this personality, who was meant to have no personality, just as a security drone, as things slowly start to, as the plot progressed from the first episode, she would give him commands, but then he would slip up and say things and mention things he shouldn't actually know.
Yeah.
And then she kind of gradually figured out, oh, well, he's not as dumb as he looks, and there's something there. But she grew to care for him and have a soft spot for him.
Yeah.
And
that's
then,
another thing too, that guy, I can't remember names of Tara. David, well, Garathan, him, that guy.
Yeah. David Dalmuntian.
Yeah. He seems like he's going to be a villain at first too.
Yeah.
And he's just not, he doesn't trust them because he's seen what they can do, these Murderbots, because he's refurbished too. That's another thing we forgot to say. He's refurbished. So he had a life before this, and well, you can guess what it was, but that guy, he has a thing on his neck that's like a interface, and he can like connect to the Murderbot, and Murderbot can connect to him. So it's kind of like seeing inside their brain. So he sees what's inside Murderbot's head, and it's like, what he calls himself, Murderbot, and all this stuff. So that's interesting too, like, because you get into the sci-fi part of it too. Or
yes, what I found funny as well, because obviously he knows that Menza's kind of getting a soft spot for Murderbot.
Yeah.
When he interrogates him, he goes, so do you ever think, do you have the programs that you can have intimate relations with humans? And he's basically trying to see how you're going to try and fuck the woman I'm in love with.
Yeah. And he doesn't even have a thing down. He's like a Ken doll.
Yeah, he's like a Ken doll, because it is a scene when after he fights them creatures or fights the other security bot, he's getting repaired, and they're like doing the synthetic surgery on these, and you actually see where, where his junk should be, and it's just Look,
Yeah.
I thought it was like I looked like a Brillo pad or something.
It was crazy though. Like I wasn't expecting that. I thought, oh, okay. I thought this show was going to show his junk or something, and then they were going to be like, oh my god. But you don't need one. He's only a bot. So
Yeah, and like you say, you've got the two on the end there, and the guy sitting down. They're more like a throuple.
yeah,
And they're like a throuple, and obviously, but then obviously the one who's leaning on top of him actually really fancies him and really, I think, just wants it to be them two. But then he falls in love with the other one.
yeah.
So that's kind of left it open on a cliffhanger for the second season, if
Yeah.
they continue with these characters, because the show basically ends after he sacrificed himself for Manza, and like you see, he got his whole personality wiped out. And then it's thanks to David Dalmatian's character, who actually goes out of his way to find a way to get his personality back and his memories back. And, like you see, they've got that ability to interlink.
Yeah.
So they interlink with one another. And because of them linking in together, he transfers like the files that he's stolen. Because obviously, even though his files were wiped and they made him kind of like fresh again, refurbished them again, they don't, yes, they wipe your memory, but they don't just wipe them, they kind of store them in a facility. So he was able to get his old memories and basically plug them back into him. And then as it progressed, he then starts to get his memories back. And then Menza is like, because she's the president of this, Preservation Alliance.
Yeah.
She's like, I want you to join me. And she's like, oh, what is your bodyguard? And she's like, no, I don't want you to be my bodyguard.
Yeah.
You've got your freedom. Basically, like saying you know you're Thomas now. You've got your freedom. I just want you to be by my side. And as they're sleeping one night, he wakes up and he goes, I'm going to go on patrol.
Yeah.
Because every time you wanted some space, he would say, I'm going on a patrol, when he was trying to protect them.
Yeah, you didn't want to hear them talking. Because that's funny too, that at that point she's like spilling her guts to him about like what her problems are, and he's just like, I got to check the perimeter, and then like runs away. She's like, oh, okay. It's like, I don't want to hear your crap right now.
Yeah, it's like, but then the series ends where he goes on patrol, but he doesn't. He goes and he buys like his new human clothes. He's no longer in the suit. Yeah. He's wearing normal human clothes. And then because he is a robot, he basically he'll be able to check himself onto a train.
I love that.
And he basically ends up like going off on the train, and you don't know where he's going. He's going somewhere else. So that's how the series ended, where basically it's left on a cliffhanger where now that he's kind of fully, integrate himself into the human population, and he's no longer in the Murderbot like suit. He now can go ahead and like potentially build a life for himself. Where is he going to end up? So it makes you think not all of the characters in the first one might return in the second season, because he's kind of left that group and he's went, because he achieved his mission, which was to protect them.
Yeah.
But then it's because of them and studying them and being around them, he now feels he's comfortable enough to be on his own to integrate himself into human civilization.
Yeah. Because they even show him when he first gets the clothes on, he walks by guards and they don't even know that he's, not human. They don't. So he blends in very well. And I think what he's going to do, like, I know there's books. I'm not going to read them. I'm not going to lie. I would like to say I'd like to read them, but I won't.
Yeah.
But I think what he's going to do is he's going to find other bots, and because he did say, you don't have to live this life of servitude. I could teach you how to hack your thing. So I think he's going to end up going out there and finding a girl one. And eventually, I think it's going to turn into a bicentennial man where he's going to want junk and then he's going to want a family. And then somehow somebody's going to make, I don't know. I think down the road, he's going to see he wants a family life and stuff like that. And I think he's going to make maybe he'll make not a colonization, but like a living, all of them are going to be robots, and they all broke their code. But I think some of them are going to go kind of crazy because they've had such bad time with humans. Maybe they're going to go rogue and he's going to have to stop. I don't know.
I was going to say I could see that happening, but I could see it going down the road of like, say, Planet of the Apes, the second movie of Cobra and Caesar. So obviously we're seeing Caesar in Planet of the Apes. He grew up with that scientist and his dad who had the Alzheimer's, and he had a good upbringing. But Cobra was abused by humans all his life, so had an absolute hatred. So I think what could happen in the second series, it could be a storyline like that where he was with the present, the Prevention Alliance, and they were good to him. But then you could have another robot who's been nothing but abused and treated horribly. But then for some reason, he befriends him and thinks, I'm going to help him. But then when he breaks him free of the code, instead of him kind of going down the path he has, he uses the fact he's got freedom to go after the humans. And then it'll turn the murder back again. So it'll have to turn against his friend to stop him from killing lots of humans. I think that could be a possibility as well for a second season.
That's very possible. Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go off and have adventures and stuff, but I think eventually it could get to that, or it's going to start off like where it's this many years later and now there's other ones that he helped. I don't know. It's a possibility of a lot of this stuff.
I don't know if you ever seen the film Mickey 17 with Robert.
Yeah, I did.
I got vibes of that in this as well.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, especially when you had like the little, how in Mickey 17 you had them little worm monsters and then you had the big worm monster in the snow. That's what I felt like them centipede things were. And they ended up banging on top of the spaceship.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And that was a cool scene, though. They're like, I think we should leave them because it's like tadpole-looking things on there. And then that bot shot it, and then like the thing came out and just attacked him, and that was cool.
Yeah,
that's another thing too. In the beginning, it was kind of where like he got bit, and like he's inside, and he shot a hole, and he's like, oh, there's another head, and then whatever. But like his whole half of his side is gone, and it's like, what the hell? And then where you said about him, he's hooked up to that thing, and it's reprinting more organs and stuff. It's like. That's pretty insane. Like that. I don't know. There's a lot of elements in this that like you could tell it's adapted.
Yeah.
The good thing is that we didn't say that these episodes are a little less than a half hour long.
Yeah. Well, I know you said you binge watched the full series in one day, didn't you? I think they're not like a full hour. They're like something like 40 minutes, maybe.
Most of them are like 20 some minutes. The first one's like a half hour, but I don't know what the last one is, but it goes by super fast. It's like watching like a regular TV show.
Yeah. So in all, what would you say were your favorite bits, or what would you say are the positives and the negatives of it?
Well, positives. It's funny. I like the humor in it. It's not so serious. I do like hearing his thoughts and them not knowing he can hear them and stuff like that. I think it was funny. His whole thing with don't touch. He's like a human too at the same time. Like he's like, no, don't touch me. Don't touch. He doesn't like to be touched either. That's why at the end where he's like, this is the closest I've ever been to hugging a human, and he ends up calling them his friends. So that it's like a big breakthrough. I like that. I like the whole breaking him down because he wanted to murder everybody. Too. These are the best people in the world. Like these are good humans. And I guess the negatives would be Um, I guess until you told me what they all did, I didn't understand. Like the whole thing with them wanting the minerals and that on the planet and that, it's kind of like a weird, weak story in a way.
Yeah, like,
You know?
well, it's the present for me. You know how we've talked about how it feels similar to like Galaxy Quest or
Yeah.
Star Trek. It also, for me, with the elements of the terraforming reminds me of Alien, because like you see, the whole plot starts off where they're called the Preservation Alliance and she's the president,
Yeah.
but they've got to get government insurance for them to go on an expedition. The only way they could do that is to hire the security droid. So they went to this planet, but then there were other rival companies that were there also trying to get the minerals so they could beat them to it, which was where, you know, there was like this kind. This is when the security droid then has to come in to like stop them from being killed by this rival corporation. So that reminded me of like something like Alien, you know, and that was the main plot. But then obviously the other element of the main plot was seeing him grow from just being this, you know, this mindless security droid to actually building a personality, building the learn to trust and to, you know, rely on humans as well as him. So I've seen a lot of good in it, but I also think for my negatives is that there were some parts of the plot I don't think they delved enough into.
Yeah. Like the alien thing.
Yeah, the alien thing,
like
with the
why
alien worms.
There's, well, we didn't mention that there's like this alien thing in the sand or whatever, and those creatures are drawn to it, and once they get close they just die, and then their drone explodes. So it's like, oh, they're not allowed to touch that because it's illegal to move it unless nobody knows about it. So it's like kind of like a well, like I said, it's illegal to touch this stuff. But like, why even mention it if they didn't even like? You can't get near it. You can't touch it.
Yeah.
Why even talk about it?
And they also mention it could actually, whatever it is under the ground, it could belong to ancient alien technology that we shouldn't go near. So if you would think if you're going to mention something like that, it would be like a big plot point later in the show.
Yeah, like that thing should like come out of it, and they're like, "Oh my, look at how big it is," or like they could use that tech to beat the rivals or something, you know? Or
Yeah,
I don't know.
So there were some loopholes or finished like plot points that they just left open.
Yeah.
But they could go back to it, I guess, in a later season if you know.
I
like
guess so.
my positives are I liked Alexander Skarsgård's performance in it. I liked how he definitely, you know, delivered and like the one-liners, and you know his timing was great when he said he's doing the talking. And he said, I did like the female lead. I felt she was believable as a very caring character.
Yeah.
The rest of the characters were okay. There was a couple that were annoying.
They're annoying, but then they come back and be funny.
Yeah.
Like especially Garathian or whatever. Like he's not likable at first. You could tell something's up with him, but then later on he ends up being a good guy.
Yeah. And the way the season ends, it ends on a cliffhanger. Well, not a cliffhanger, but it's left open-ended for whether if they weren't going to do a season 2, he gained his freedom and he like integrated himself into like human society.
Yeah.
We've basically talked about what we would like to see in the second series. I would like more action though in the second season.
Yeah.
Like you did have elements of action with the worms, and then when he was fighting the other security bots.
Yeah.
And you had some good go actually in this, especially there was that scene where I laughed. We never mentioned this as well. I laughed my head off where he was fighting the security bot, and you thought he was going to get killed, and then the whole fucking ship just crashed on the security bot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and they kept stepping on him.
Yeah, the leg of the ship then crushed the guy. The security lifted him up because he was splattered on the bottom of the leg and then it just kept on smashing him into the ground.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
that was one of my favorite scenes in
That was pretty
Murderbot.
good. That was
Yeah,
pretty good. Well, that's
and
another thing too. When it was around that scene where the two creatures were doing it on top, and they showed that other one that has more tentacles like to it.
yeah,
What about that thing? I would like to know more. I thought there was going to be other creatures
yeah,
that like were big or small, and that like I think the planet should have had more creatures as well.
yeah, yeah. I think the one that's all white, with all the tentacles,
I mean,
which
like
was this
the
one.
centipede thing, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the male, because the other one I think's the female, because the other one, that one wrapped around the other one,
Yeah.
and the other one kind of just lay there.
It kind of looked like it was taking it for sure. It's like I noticed at one part, it looked like it was like I don't know.
Yeah, but so what would you say are your negatives for Murderbot?
Oh, just um, like I said, I'd like the alien thing. I wish they would had brought that into it more, because it's just they kind of stopped talking about it. Well, they don't stop talking about it. They don't go into it more. Just that it's illegal to take. Uh, I would like to see more creatures. I would have liked to have seen him try to get through to one of the other bots, like
Mm-hmm.
maybe like the one that had him, like that knocked him out and everything. Maybe he could be talking to him and try to get through to him, and then I don't know, like in the Borg, where that one episode where he had him prisoner, and then like he kind of like got through to him, and they thought, well, maybe that'll go back and it'll be infected to everybody, and then it'll change them, and it didn't. I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever saw that episode. I forget what that was called, but like uh that would have been cool if it did that. But
Mm.
I don't know. I don't have a lot of negatives. I enjoyed it. I watched it straight through, but I honestly don't like, if this didn't have a second season coming out. I don't think it really. I think it would have been fine the way it ended.
Yeah.
You know.
Uh, I would say it's an okay show. It's not something that stands out a lot, though. I think it's fun for what it is.
Yeah. It don't
I
take
am
long to get through.
Yeah, yeah. It's if you were sitting, like, put it this way, if this had been on the plane when I was flying to San Diego or coming home, which was an 11-hour flight, I could have easily binge watched this on the flight, and it would have been something fun to watch.
You could have watched it like
Um,
2 or 3 times.
yeah, but I would definitely say for me, I am curious to see what they're going to do with the second season. Another idea I've come up with that just pinged in my head, because he is a fan of that show, The Rise and Fall of that moon show. It would be comical if they did this thing where he's hiding out somewhere and he finds out they're doing like a Comic Con with all the actors from the show.
Yeah,
And
that'd
then
be
he
cool.
decides he decides, I'm gonna go to see the act, but he thinks the like that are on the show, that's who they really are.
Yeah,
Like, and then when he goes to meet them, they're all dickheads to him, and he ends up wanting to kill them.
that'd be funny. Yeah,
That would be, like something like a Galaxy Quest where Tim Tim what's his
Alan.
name? Tim Allen. He, like, people love the show and they love him as the captain, but when they see him at the convention, he's just a dickhead to them,
Yeah,
and that would be hilarious.
that would be neat. What if he found a planet where it's the show, but it's real?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they kind of did that with Galaxy Quest, where obviously the show had been broadcast into space, so these
Oh, yeah,
aliens,
they made everything real, like the ship and everything.
yeah, they assumed that
It
the
was real.
actors in the show was a real thing, and it
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah,
So that could work as well if like you go somewhere and they've kidnapped the actors from the show because they think they're real.
yeah. Because he
And
bases everything that he does in life basically off this show. It's like
yeah,
the show taught him how to be a human in a way.
yeah,
Even like where like they think that thing is gonna blow up, and they couldn't be. Then they had no way of telling him, and he just like whatever the catchphrase from the show was. It's like boldness on or boldness go or something like that. He like jumps and like, what? What did he just say? And he's like, oh well, that was supposed to work or something like that. Just funny things like that. Yeah.
But it'd be like, it's like, that's another idea, like taken from Galaxy Quest, where the actors of the show get kidnapped by an alien race and he decides he's gonna have to go and save them.
That'd be neat. Yeah.
So depending what they come up with, hope, you know, I can't imagine this show having more than 2 or 3 seasons. I don't think they'll overstretch this. It's not gonna go like, I would say, Game of Thrones or Stranger Things. I think it's popular enough, but I don't think it's gonna be a show that's gonna be, you know, last as long as them or remembered as long as them.
Yeah. I mean, it got another season, but that could also be because it's on Apple.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, how many, if there's like 3 books, maybe they'll do a season per book.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Like that. As long as they end it on a good note and make everything make sense, I'm fine with that. Like a short series. I'm fine with it now not being a second season.
Yeah.
It ended fine.
Yeah, it did.
I just hope they don't ruin it.
Well, they just have to make it funnier or keep the humor like at the level that it's at.
Yeah.
I think keep the humor at the level it's at, but also
up the violence.
I was going to say up the violence and the action. There needs to be a good parallel, because this had a little bit of violence and enough to keep me interest, but I want more. The second season, they've got everything has to go a bit higher. The comedy, the action in the second season.
Yep.
Yeah. So
how much you want to bet they kill off the lady that he really likes, and then he like ends up being an actual murder bot, like going after the people.
Yeah, that could happen. Or something happens and he ends up actually accidentally killing one of them, and then he's got to prove why he killed them. It wasn't down to him. It's because someone interfered with his programming or something.
Maybe.
And, you know, they could do something where they turn on him, you know, because he's had a virus or something implanted in him that he didn't know about when he's been reformatted. You don't
It'll
know
be like Spider-Man. He's going to get blamed for somebody's death.
Yeah.
And then everybody will be after him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah. But the first season was okay. If you had to rate the first season, how would you rate it?
I thought it was enjoyable. Didn't blow me away or anything, but I might watch this again with somebody if they wanted to watch it. I'd probably say, I don't know. It's weird to rate a show, the whole thing. I don't know, maybe like an 8. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Just the way it starts off and sucked me in, you know, like my attention, like this guy's an asshole. That's an asshole. I said to Shane, I go, this movie's not even on 1 minute, and I've heard the word asshole 3 times. This is pretty good so far. But
I'll be honest, I thought it was good. I don't think it's going to be as memorable as I want it to be down the line, but it was good enough. And I am curious for the second season, so I'll definitely watch the second season.
Yeah.
To see if it'd be great if I would really like to hope that the first season was okay, and I want the second season to be better than the first one. If they can make the second one better, I'll be hooked, and I'll probably watch the third season if they do a third season. For me, though, I'm going to give it one less than you. I'll give it 7 out of 10. I think that's still fair.
Yeah.
But our next show we're going to look at and review is going to be one I'm really excited. I'm waiting till all episodes are aired, then I'm going to binge watch it. We're going to be talking about Alien Earth.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my next pick. Have you watched any of that yet?
No, I'm kind of waiting like you. I'm going to binge watch it.
Yeah. I thought, like, I don't like it when they do that with shows where, right, well, the first 2 episodes get everyone's appetite whet, and then they go, right, you're gonna have to wait a full week for episode 3, then another week, and then you're like, just air the fucking episodes, please.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I like binge watching, but at the same time, I'm old school, so like I know what it was like. You know what it's like to wait a week. They still do that with some things, but like I tend to binge watch stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The only bad thing with that is you have to wait a year sometimes for the next season to come out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I either way.
Yeah, I know at the end of, is it sometime in November, the new Stranger Things starts. So I'm going to start watching. I know, well, I think it's November, then sometime in December, and the last episode is going to air on New Year's Eve.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
no one's going to watch that.
But the thing is, the last season, I think there's only 6 episodes, and each episode's nearly 2 hours long.
Oh, God.
So there's that's why it took nearly 3 years to make, because basically each episode's like a mini movie, and there's 6 of them.
Yeah, I only watched the first half of the last season, where like I know like where she's like in the sky. I didn't even know. I saw almost all of that season. I didn't watch the rest. I don't know. I like Stranger Things, but I don't think it gets better as it goes along.
See, I think I love the first season. The second season, is it the 5th season we're waiting for? Is it the 6th one?
I don't know. I thought it was the 5th, but maybe I'm wrong.
I like the first season, the second season. The 3rd season for me was the weakest.
Mm.
I think it was still good, but not on the level of the first 2. But then the 4th season blew me away when they introduced her to Vecna.
Mm.
So I think if we were to rate the series now, it would be, for me, the 3rd one would be the weakest, then the first one, then I would say the 2nd and the 4th one.
Yeah,
that's how I would put them in order of the ones I like the most. But we'll just have to see if they ended on a high and it doesn't end up like the Game of Thrones and everyone shouting at the screen saying, "You ruined my show."
I didn't watch all of that either, but I have heard that ended on a crappy note.
It was a load of fucking garbage how they ended Game of Thrones. I'm sorry, because all that hype, all that build up of the White Walkers eventually breaking into the world and going rampant.
Yeah.
They dedicated 2 episodes to it.
Yeah.
And then the last episode was just rushed. And why was it rushed? It was rushed because originally they had gotten, a contract to write a trilogy of Star Wars films for Disney. So I generally feel they rushed it to get the work done on Disney. And then I generally feel whatever they had written, Disney read it and thought, we're not going to greenlight this. So it didn't even go ahead.
Mm.
So the ruined Game of Thrones for Disney and the right Star Wars, and the Star Wars film didn't even go ahead.
Well, I don't know.
And they've done nothing since Game of Thrones either. So,
well, you know how Game of Thrones, like a lot of things, they rush things at the end of the seasons or at the end, like all the American Horror Stories. I haven't seen all the seasons, but I've seen most of them. And the last 2 episodes, everything is crammed.
Mm-hmm.
They try to do like the ending and the future, and but
the last American Horror Story series I watched all the way through was the one that was the one that they did after the pandemic, which was called Double Feature, where it was 2 short stories made into a season. One was about the vampires in the coastal town, and the other one was about the aliens. I felt that was...
I didn't see that one.
Disappointed because they should have made the vampire story a full-length season, and they should have done the alien storyline as a full-length season. Then, because the way they ended each season, it made each story of that double feature. It made me want to watch a full-length series of it. And I think after that one, it was 1984 which was like the serial killer and the ghost at like a camp.
The camp one, yeah.
Yeah, which for me was just a mixture of Murder House, the first one.
Yeah, Murder House. You
Friday
can't really beat that one.
Yeah. Well, I like Freak Show. I think Freak Show is good.
Freak Show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we could talk about that afterwards.
Yes.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. But that's what's coming up next time on Television Chronicles. It's very hard to talk about like a show episode to episode, and because you could be here for 7 hours if we divulge each episode.
Yeah.
But I think we've talked about the main bits and the things I liked and didn't like about the show. What's coming up with you, Mr. Tony, on your channel? Or
well, just have ghouls going on the channel every week, mine and Anubis's. And I also have my other channel that I have right now. It's called White Trash. It's just AI songs. You know what it is, that swinging thing. It's just a lot of horror movies and sci-fi movies and that, and then I just make songs out of them. Like RoboCop is one that's coming up. I have coming out. There's I can't think. I have one that's going to be like a crossover between Angela from Sleepaway Camp and Angela from Night of the Demons. Like stuff like that, like fun crossovers, and they're all different styles. Mostly like new wave, dark, gothic kind of stuff. But it sounds like if I don't like it, I don't put it on there. And there's some that are really good.
I dare you today. He has one. Try and do one about Jaws.
Jaws. Well, I kind of did just upload that one. It's not on Jaws specifically, but it's on that picture. Remember, I put in the group. It said Jaws on Jaws, while having like he had Jaws was right on Jaws.
Yes,
I made a song out of that.
All right, cool.
So that's on there. It's more like a surfer song. There's one on there called Rise of Reptilicus. That's another kind of surfer song. It's fun. So yeah, I wanted the swing into the Bates thing. I wanted to have that up when we did the Bates Motel or the Psycho talk, but it wasn't on that one. Yeah, they're fun. They're fun to do, and some of them I honestly can be on the radio, and people I don't think would know.
Yeah, they're really quite fun. Yeah, I couldn't tell. They're quite. You need to do one for Gorgo.
Gorgo, I could.
Gorgo. I'm trying to think of other shows or films. Texas Chainsaw Massacre one.
Yep. That's one I have. I that's what I do. What you're doing right now is basically what I do. I'm like, what movie could I do a song on? And it's like, oh, okay. And then sometimes I have to give it a couple tries. Not all the lyrics are mine though. They are AI.
Yeah.
But I like if it doesn't sound right, if I fix it. Stuff like that. Some of them are going to be my own words.
Yeah. For Christmas, you should do one for Krampus.
I could. I will. But on that channel, though, every day till I run out of ideas, I guess there's going to be a new song. Pretty much like every day at 2 p.m. my time. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. 7-year time.
So what I'll do is I'll put, for anyone that's watching, I'm going to put a link to White Trash down below. So if you want to check it out and check out Tony's work and his songs, please do so. And please check out the other episodes of Television Chronicles that me and Tony has done. We've done Nautilus, we've done The Terror, So this is his pick. Yep. Now we've done more Murderbot. The next one will be Alien Earth. We'll be joined by DJ Anubis because he really wants to review it with me. Cool. I think Jake Hall as well wants to do that with us.
Jake
Hall wants to do Alien Earth with us. Yes.
Ooh, sounds good.
Yes, so I might have to do that one live because it just depends on when Jake's available.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's coming up on Television Chronicles. Also coming up on the channel this Saturday, we have the next classic Kaiju Connections review, and it's going to be the Damaging trilogy. We're doing three films.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I know you're not going to be a part of that one this week, but hopefully you'll make the next one after that, which is the Magic Serpent.
I should be able to do that one, yeah.
Yes,
I won't even be in this state on Saturday, so that's why I'm not going to be joining. But I have seen the movies and I do like them, so.
Yeah, well, I bought the Arrow box set. No, was it Arrow? Yeah, I think it was the Arrow box set. So I love the box art. The box art is cool. But that's what's coming up on the entertainment headquarters. Please like and share and subscribe to Mr. Tony the Dead and to White Trash, his other YouTube page for his fantastic songs.
WHYTE.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
White. So that's a, yeah. So, and also, if you want to, please like, share, and subscribe to Entertainment Headquarters. This has been Television Chronicles with my co-host, Mr. Tony the Dead. And please like your television. Please like all things entertainment. And we'll catch us all at the next one. Take care, everyone.